To a special guest. I'm excited to introduce today's episode where we've got something a little different for you. A hands-on science experiment that explores emotion and chemical reactions. Joining me is a very special guest, Mr. K, the secondary coordinator for Kansas City Public Schools. He's here to guide us through this experiment, which will take us into the fascinating world of how our emotions can spark real chemical changes. So, whether you're a science enthusiast or just curious about how emotions connect to the physical world around us, this is the episode you don't want to miss. Let's dive right in. Mr. K, Mr. K, are you ready to get started?
I am. Thank you for that introduction. That was awesome. Why don't you guys step back up to your spots and go back to yours. All right, for Miss Cook, I think there is a spot right here for you as well. All right. So we're going to be doing a little science experiment today. But the point of the experiment is to talk through emotions, what they are, and how we're best to process them. Okay, so we're just going to do a simple baking soda vinegar reaction, which I'm sure you guys have all seen. Our baking soda here is going to represent bad things that happen to us, and I'll have a few of you share out. And then the vinegar will represent like a culminating event that just makes everything come all out at once. First thing I want you all to do, you guys see our little cardboard tubes of emotions that are at the table. Pick one that resonates with you, different emotions. I picked a sad one.
Good morning, Dad.
Always.
Okay,
You get to join us for the announcements this whole time.
please release the avid students to the auditorium. Once again, only the avid students to the auditorium at this time.
What's admin?
So, for example, I picked a sad emotion. We had a family member pass in our family, so a couple weeks back, feeling this a lot. But you guys have your own emotions. What we're gonna do, and you guys can do 2 per tray, is you're gonna keep your emotion there in the tray. When we start to add our baking soda, you'll want to try to keep a hand on it so that it doesn't move, because if that baking soda leaks out the bottom, it makes it not as good of a reaction. Okay, I'm gonna pass this baking soda. I've got 2 of them. We'll pass them around. These are gonna represent something bad that happened in your life that makes you feel a negative emotion. Can somebody give me an example of something that's happened recently or in your life that gave you negative feelings?
Well, sometimes in my life, a friend of mine passed away, and it made me sad.
There you go. So sometimes we have family members, friends that pass away that can make us feel bad. Yeah.
Somebody said I was softener and she went to my coaches and said that.
You have friends who might lie, call you names, those sorts of things. So let's do 1 scoop. You guys each have a scoop. Go ahead and add 1 scoop just like this. I'll show you. Just nice level scoop. Hold your thing down. Put it in there. Okay, I'm going to pass this down that way. Guys, go ahead and add in. This represents 1 negative thing happening to you inside. Yep. Hold the tube so it doesn't spill out as best as you can. Do 1 scoop each. And this is where we're going to start to be careful that we don't bump the tables, because we don't want it spilling out too much.
That's a lot of that.
That's fine.
Why is Jaden so clean?
It was
Just don't give the tube too much. Sorry, I'm going to do another scoop just to make sure.
Okay.
All right, while the others finish up,
Who's marrying you?
we're going to do a second round. Can somebody give me another example that's different from the ones that were shared? Something that can make you have negative feelings.
We're doing 2 tubes.
What's up? We're going to do 1 for now, and then we're going to do a second one just in a sec.
I got one.
What's up?
When we couldn't go to the volleyball tournament.
Okay, so you have a expectation. Something changes that, and we no longer get to have what we wanted. That's a good one. Yeah.
They can't. In 7th grade, they canceled the science field trip, and we couldn't go to science field.
Real bro.
Man, that's devastating. Science City, we missed out. Maybe I need to take this group to Science City. What do you think, Miss Cook? There you go. I'll start working on that. Okay, so let's add a second scoop because something bad has happened to us again. My example would be I grew up with 5 siblings, so there was always somebody. Only 5. I know.
Me too.
And they always knew how to push my buttons. So sometimes if that happened,
We need the white sauce.
pass this one down.
Baking
Baking soda,
Soda. No.
2 different things. All right. So while we finish up getting these second tubes in, these represent things that happen to us in our lives that cause us to have bad feelings. Now, notice if you look at some of these, you can't really tell that somebody had these things happen. A few of us, it's kind of leaking out a bit, but for the most part, we can contain all those emotions in. We're kind of keeping it in check. Do you guys have somebody in your life that you get to talk to about how you're feeling? So I heard my mom and somebody said my pet. They don't have a. What'd you say?
I said my dad.
Dad. That's better than the pet because the pet can't really have a conversation with you.
Honestly, the pets, you know how to listen.
So it's important that you have somebody in your life that you get to talk through the different things that you're feeling and going through. Who here would say they don't have somebody like that?
Well, I have a friend. I have a friend. So I'm
That's good. You might have a friend, but if you don't have those conversations. So what we are going to now look at is what happens when you don't process through what's been going on in your life. Right now, it's all contained, but all it takes is one thing to happen, and this is going to be our vinegar. This is bitter. Something bitter happens, and all the stuff you thought you had in check is no longer going to stay in check. So here's what we need to do: pick up a color that's you like. Green, and you
I
can
like
red or
green.
blue. Hold your cardboard tube so nothing spills out. Just like these ladies down here, that's perfect. Make sure you're holding with one hand. There you go, there you go, there you go. And then we're gonna pour it in. Oh, hold up, wait.
Students, please
Misinterrupted.
for your morning announcement.
Oh,
At this time, all
this
students.
makes me feel
Please report
angry.
to
So they're
Ms. Ellison.
interrupting me.
Once again, all student council members.
Make commercials for these times.
We do want to remind you that the second quarter midterm window is open for grade. Fall break
She's out of motion.
is November the 25th to November the 29th. Students will return back to school on December the 2nd. When they return back to school, the winter I-ready testing window will be open.
Don't start yet.
Students, we do want to remind you that there will be no passes today. Call freezes will be called every hour.
Did you get that, YouTube?
You have 5
All
minutes
phrases.
to report to your classes. During those 5 minutes, please use the restroom and get water so that you can be able to meet the student expectations in your classroom. Once again, there are no cell phones allowed.
So I did that.
Students, when you're in the cafeteria, if we hear your iPad, we will take your iPad.
Say, oh, he did say vinegar.
Those students who are staying for sports and after-school activities, you must remain with your coach and or your sponsor throughout the entire time. Teachers, we will make announcements when it's time for dismissal from school.
That game.
Also, teachers, this is a reminder that the Chromebooks will be picked up today. Please do not send students to the library. Once again, we want to have a wonderful day
Got
here
one
at
part on the video,
the
dude.
school.
Somebody's watching.
Students, we are hoping that you will be mindful of the student expectations. Once again, let's have a wonderful day here at Central Middle
I
School.
said blue.
All right, picking up right where we left off. We're holding onto the tube. You're just gonna pour it all in on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All of it.
Is it elephant something?
So if we're not processing all of our emotions, something's gonna happen where it all comes out at once. What's an example of an event like this where all of your emotions come out all at once? And it's ugly.
Pause.
What could something
Ready
like
to
this?
fight. Depression.
You fight, depression, those are great examples. Something happens and it just sends you over the edge. You guys can touch it, it's fine.
But put it down there.
So, a little bit of the science. Everybody knows baking soda vinegar. You get the little foam. What I did to get it to do a lot more foam is you add dish soap so the bubbles actually stay. That's why it looks a little bit better than most of those reactions. Do we know what, and my 7th graders should know this,
Yes,
or my 8th graders should. Do we know what exothermic and endothermic reactions are?
exothermic is when you release heat.
When it releases heat. Very good.
Endothermic is when
They capture you.
It captures heat so it would feel cold. This is an example of a endothermic reaction. So if you were to feel the reaction that was going on, what temperature would it feel if it was endothermic?
All that
It would feel cold.
I would like brown ice cream.
It's not a very strong one, but if you ever do this reaction in a plastic baggie, you can lift it up if you want.
It's still
You'd be able to feel how cold it is.
It's cold.
Pick it up.
All that powder. Oh yeah, look at that mix.
If you kind of no, my hands stuff.
Well, said no. She said no.
Let's not put them on the table though. All right.
I was just saying.
Oh, damn.
Awesome. What do you guys think of it? Actually, before we finish, I need somebody who hasn't shared. What did you learn through this experiment?
I'm gonna go home and do this. Said it's a good thing to let out your emotions.
Man, you just jumping right in front of her. Just to share that.
She was gonna say that.
All right, somebody else. One more thing.
Crack it, bro.
It's good.
I might put baking soda in my ketchup.
Hey. One more thing, and then we'll wrap up our live stream.
Hey, yeah. What are you doing, man?
Listen closely.
Anything else that we learned today?
Dad, what's it called? Baking powder? And
Holding in your emotions is not good.
Holding in your emotions isn't good. Here's what I learned today. Your 7th grade teacher did a great job. You guys remembered endothermic and exothermic. Awesome job. Way to go, Shem.
Dr. Shell, he kind of face over. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
Shout out to Dr. Shell.
Shout out to Dr. Shem.
We love you, Dr. Shem.
I love the
I
fact I
miss you, Mr. Parker.
Live streaming right now.
Thank you, Dr. Shem.
Can see what you said.
Okay, we're gonna start the cleanup process, so we can turn that down. Thank you guys for joining us for this part of the Bible.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
That's a free sending.